Christian, I don't hear you. You are silent. That's good that you can hear me, bro. I cannot hear a thing you're saying, Bran. So I just see your lips moving. Refresh. It's okay if it knocks me out. Go for it. Hey, folks. I think we might be live here. We're having some entertaining challenges, as always, with computers and all sorts of stuff. So glad that you are here with us tonight for some social chatter. So no idea what's up, but hey, Larry, thanks, buddy. I'm glad that you're going to catch the replay. Always fun with that. That's super cool. Elizabeth McCormick said, awesome. I think we might be live here. We're having all right, so good. So I'm live. So that's interesting. So hopefully Christian joins soon. Oh, and he conked out again. And maybe you'll come back.
Phil, hey.
Hey, there you are, brother. I hear you now.
All good? Good. Okay.
All good.
So, hey, by the way, everybody that's watching, that's the one thing about live video is that it can be very unpredictable at times. So, Phil, who do we have on this week? It's episode 176. I know I mentioned it's the Phil, and Christian show this week. But tell us about our guest this week.
Sure. So, well, Phil Reinhardt is our guest. He lives in Milwaukee. And Phil and I go way back. Phil and I actually do a lot of work together and design websites and do other fun stuff. Phil loves video, social media, and all things Milwaukee, except for right now when it's 40 below zero, when he wishes he was here with me in Tampa. So, but the great guy, he loves being a granddad, loves social media, and just genuinely just one of my favorite people in the world. So I'm really glad that Phil's here.
Very nice. Awesome to have Phil on. Let's go ahead and bring him on. Yeah, we were talking about that weather. For those of you affected by all the very cold weather, stay warm. So, Phil, how are you doing?
I am well, thank you.
What's up there, Frozen One?
Yeah, still alive and kicking.
There you go. There you go. So, well, we're so glad you're here, buddy. We're so glad that you're here. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, so we got lots and lots and lots of cool stuff that we can talk about tonight. But, Phil, we like to at least make the first one a little bit of dealer's choice here. So out of the topics that you know that we could talk about, we got some Facebook stuff, we got some LinkedIn stuff, we got a YouTube thing. Where would you like to start tonight, my friend?
Let's start with LinkedIn.
LinkedIn, I love it. LinkedIn is my favorite platform. For those who've been watching a while, you know how much I love LinkedIn. And what's interesting is LinkedIn announced they're going to add interest targeting, which is really interesting. They've got 200 targeted interests in the campaign manager, which is really fascinating. It's the way that people interact, the groups in which they belong. They give some signals, which is really interesting. So it's not based on search targeting, which is Google strategy, but by interests that are reflected in engagement plus search activity. So, Phil, what do you think, man? You think this is a big deal?
I think it can be. I think, my experience in trying to target ads in LinkedIn right now, I've had mixed results. Depends on what the client is and what they're who they're targeting. So I think this might be a game changer, especially if they are looking something. They're interacting with posts, articles related to what you have for sale.
Cool. So what about you, Christian? What are you going to play with this?
I definitely think this is going to be a good play. So here's the thing. We talk about this a lot. We have to remember Microsoft owns LinkedIn. So I think this is key because, it also then potentially, I think, gets into some very interesting areas where maybe it could start to actually, kind of watch what you're doing on your computer, for instance, if you're using, for instance, a Windows-based machine. That's where I could see this being very useful because, beyond, people doing something on the web, for instance, they close their browser, they think, hey, I can't be targeted with any ads, that sort of stuff. So I think this is a really good move by LinkedIn. I think that I'm particularly excited about just the future. Going beyond just the web, because, it's not just, hey, I'm on the web. A lot of things that we're using these days are just are all hooked into the web. So when you launch an application, it's making call outs to the web, so I think this is really, really good to help improve targeting overall. And I know, Phil, in your case, you're very interested, I'm sure, about LinkedIn interest targeting.
Yeah, well, I am really interested. One interesting thing I think that is going to challenge people is that this is the first step only in this. And that means that there's not going to be any API, right? There's going to be no way for third parties to run ads, which is often a challenge. I mean, I want to be creative, but I want to pull a report into my dashboard. That's really important. I don't just want to, oh, yay, here it is, right? I don't just want to go to LinkedIn. So that's interesting. The second thing is the stat that they said in there. They said one major advertising holding company testing the interest-based targeting has seen a 25% uptick in click-through rate compared with other ads. Well, I wonder, that's great that they get a better click-through rate, but I'll tell you what, I heard one of the social media marketing groups that I'm part of said that somebody actually advised that a guy change his profile to be an attractive woman to increase click-through rate. So yeah, okay, if you put some scantily clad person in your ad, be it male or female, you might get better click-through rate, but what's the conversion like? I mean, do people actually sign up? That's going to be the curious thing for me, because LinkedIn, our friend Ann Wynn, Christian, who's come out a couple times, Ann is real big on keeping LinkedIn business. And I wonder, is this really just other marketers clicking through like, wow, I never thought that LinkedIn could do this, in which case it looks like a click-through rate, or is it really going to drive business? Because, and I guess thirdly, how expensive is this going to be?
Right.
If it's $15 a click and I'm going to put something on that converts at like 3%, I'm going to tell you, go pound sand. We got to bring AJ Wilcox on, to talk about this, because this is really interesting. I'm curious if he's been part of the beta or what, because he's my guy when we talk about LinkedIn ads for sure. I don't know. It should be interesting though. I'm excited that they're doing something more than the boring stuff they've done in the past. But we'll see.
Definitely. So big news from LinkedIn this week, and that's all that we have from LinkedIn this week. So where else do you want to go next?
So Phil, you got a choice, buddy. You got YouTube, you got Facebook, or you got another Facebook. So you pick.
Let's pick one of the two Facebooks. I'll let you pick.
Awesome. So let's do the Facebook to reunite Messenger, WhatsApp, and Instagram messaging. Now, I think this one is interesting here, because here's what's really being merged. It is not that these platforms are going to become one platform. Let's be clear. It's the back end stuff, which is going to make advertising a whole lot more uniform. So, Phil, I know you do some advertising for your customers. Is this exciting for you, or is this like, yeah, who cares?
Well, I'm not on WhatsApp at all, mainly because it's not an iOS thing. I guess this is what I see out of it. I think that this will be another way of reaching more people by them merging all these apps, all the communication portions of the apps together. I just think that you'll have a better way of reaching more people than you ever had before. That's the way that I look at it.
Cool. What about you, Christian? You're a big WhatsApp guy over there in your part of the world, right?
Yeah, so I think this is actually going to have some pretty big effects overall. I think because the key thing is Facebook's they're also going to add end-to-end encryption, which basically what that's going to do is it's going to allow the content necessarily not to be seen by everyone. Right now that's primarily just a WhatsApp feature, and so a lot of people go to WhatsApp for that reason. I think this is big news. I like the perspective, you mentioned Phil Gerbershak earlier about the whole advertising, aspect of this. It'll help unite things. I think that's fantastic. But a lot of people are also going to question, I think, the whole idea of being able to, how can people message me? Because sometimes people have a specific channel that they use. For example, they use Messenger with either maybe just friends and family. They might use Instagram, for instance, their messaging platform with clients, and they might use WhatsApp with clients, for example, or just overseas clients. So I think that, a lot of people are going to have they're going to have issues, I think, at first with, people being able to contact you across these, because that is a question that, I think that was answered here. In addition to the end-to-end encryption, hopefully coming across to the two. And by the way, this isn't going to be immediate. This will take about a full year to complete,
right?
Which is good. So keep that in mind. But, the one thing here I think that is important is that, people would be able to actually message you across a platform. And I think for some people, they don't like that aspect. They don't like the idea of being able to have somebody, for instance, that you're not necessarily connected to on, maybe say WhatsApp or say Facebook Messenger, be able to message you from WhatsApp, without really being connected to you.
Well, so who doesn't like that besides us marketers? I mean, really, my mom would love Universal Messenger. And I really think this is a case of identity management more than anything, with Facebook being a platform and Messenger being a play, WhatsApp being a play, Instagram being a play, and Facebook then being that universal identity, much like Apple has their Apple ID to log into the App Store, now to log in because they own Spotify now, to do different things. I see Microsoft doing the same thing, right, with LinkedIn. That's how they're going to grow their user base. I think Amazon is already talking about having a social network. You can see with their influencer thing, Brian Fanzo is certainly playing with that. So there's four, who's the fifth? I really think this is just a move towards more of a universal sign-in.
Yeah, I agree.
And I like the idea of all that. I mean, I personally like the idea that, you could have all these platforms united because they are essentially owned by Facebook. So, there's no sense in them trying to maintain three separate companies, unify everything. I mean, if you look at like Amazon has their fingers in a lot of different things, and a lot of them run through their same services, their web services, for example. So there's a lot there to really work with. So, I mean, overall, I like the idea of this. I mean, I think this is good news. I think for a business, this will be a fantastic feature because, they already have that unified inbox on Facebook. So now, it really, here's the thing. What's the one, and this has kind of been the theme of, or it was the theme of 2018, which was like mental health, right? Taking a bit of a break sometimes. So I think this could actually be very useful because if I'm a business owner and I'm on, say, Facebook Messenger, and I'm trying to answer somebody's questions or something to that effect, and somebody else messages me on WhatsApp or messages me on Instagram, then I have to stop what I'm doing, kind of shift that whole mindset and go to another platform. And then, at that point, I've kind of gone down the rabbit hole. I think by having everything unified under one inbox, I think it will be very, very, very good for a business owner. It's a little bit less to have to manage.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, let's hope so, right? I mean, I'm with you, Christian. I think that's really good. I think it also lessens the engineering costs on Facebook because, holding three different databases, especially from an encryption perspective, my gosh, those engineers are super expensive. They're super, super smart. So I think that's a smart move. I think it also possibly, we could then see some more splintering off of the Facebook engineering team to create a new app as well. Which,
definitely.
I'd say, pay attention to where these folks move, see what shakes out and bet on those folks because, man, they're smart, man. Facebook's got some great people.
Yeah. And, the thing with this, a lot of people question, well, hey, what, like, why are they integrating WhatsApp? Why are they integrating Instagram? Like, why are they trying to do this? And as you mentioned, I think great points about just the whole, the data side, the storage side, all of this, but you also have to look at the number of users. And, I think it was this article, maybe another one I was reading, but Facebook is no longer the top holding that they own. Right. Facebook is driving a lot of this, but a lot of their users are Instagram and WhatsApp users. They actually dwarf Facebook's numbers. So you do have to keep that in mind as well. So it's a good shift, I think.
Yeah. Absolutely. So, hey, folks, so we're so glad you're here. We got Natalia's with us. Katie Miller is with us. We've got,
Joanne Krall's on.
Joanne Krall's on. So we're just delighted that you're here, folks. Anybody listening live or watching the replay, make sure that you don't miss any of this stuff because there's always so much to cover that we can't get to. Go to socialchefs.com/daily and sign up for the daily email. Christian does a great job of putting this together. Make sure you get not only the replay of this, which is really awesome. He writes a great article, but then every day you get a little something more to help you grow your business with social media. That's socialchefs.com/daily. Check it out and sign up. And if you're watching, let us know, hey, how cold is it where you are, or how warm is it? I won't rub it in, but I'll just tell you that I was wearing sunglasses today because it's nice here in Tampa. So,
and I will say this: I'm not going to complain about my weather either.
Yeah, Phil, what about you?
I was wearing sunglasses, but earmuffs too.
Oh, sunglasses and earmuffs. There we go. Perfect.
Tell them what I texted you this morning.
Which time? What did you tell me this morning about PM 30 below?
The picture from my dashboard.
Oh yes, yeah. Phil's not happy to be there. Minus 24 degrees. That's no wind chill. Freeze the oil in your car. Yeah, my dad told me that with the wind chill up in Crivets, Wisconsin, it was minus 60 today. 60. Yeah. I'm like, yeah, Dad, time to move, dude. Time to move. When the poop freezes inside you before it comes out, man, it's time to go. I'm just saying. It's darn cold, Dad. So, all right. So 10 degrees where Joanna is. Fantastic. So 10 degrees is, man, that's still pretty darn cold for me. I guess I'm a Florida Wimpus now. I don't know, but oh well, whatever. So where we are, we just hope you're staying warm, folks. 10 degrees is better than negative 60, I guess, but still not fantastic. So Phil, so we're gonna roll them again, buddy. You wanted to go more YouTube. Cool. So YouTube TV rolling out nationwide just in time for the Super Bowl. Well, it makes perfect sense to me. Why not? Why not do it? So, Phil, are you having any of your clients that are advertising on YouTube yet? I mean, do you think this is a big deal for them?
I think it's going to be a huge deal for them. I do not have any clients on there right now. I've been kind of itching to, monkey with that, but not as of yet. Not as of yet. But yeah, I don't know. Have you ever tried the YouTube TV yet?
I've played with it. For me, I just don't see enough content. I've got every other service I think out there, but right. I didn't even download the Karate Kid. I couldn't do it. So, but I played with it.
I did a 2-week. So I cut the cord probably about pushing 2 years ago.
Wow.
And I used to work for Time Warner Cable.
Yes, you did.
but I tried it, well over a year ago, and didn't like it. I ended up going with a different service, but I think, advertising wise, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, absolutely. So Christian, what about you over there? Do you guys, will this roll out for you too? It says nationwide.
No, we will not be getting that. I'm 100% certain we will not be getting that.
No YouTube TV. So, well, what do you think, Christian? Are you ever going to come back and visit? You going to watch some YouTube TV, or what do you think?
I think the timing of this is perfect. I'm still waiting. I'm still waiting for on just video in general, to be able to just move away from the cable box. For people to have all those monthly subscriptions for channels they really don't watch. So I'm really glad to see that YouTube is finally rolling this out. This also reminds me of when they were trying to roll out, when Google was trying to roll out Wi-Fi to everyone. That still hasn't happened. So at least, this one's kind of making some progress. I think that, I'd love to see the Super Bowl on this and see how, see what it's like. That would actually be, if I were YouTube, I would even, for instance, I'd love to see them run a trial for just the Super Bowl, for instance. I think that would be a really good way to launch this, to get people to tune in. And then that way, and then they could say, hey, this actually works really well. And you have to imagine the number of people that are going to be viewing this at one time. I think that is a fantastic way to test this, because it's going to work, but also to roll it out and to get mass adoption, I think. So I'm glad to see YouTube TVs rolling out. Like you said, though, it also comes down to content and other services. I've got a lot of other services as well that we have so much content that we watch. For instance, you can watch this show. You can also watch this on YouTube. But I think this is a good step in the right direction. That's definitely the first play. And the second play, I think, is just the whole data aspect. Watching video takes up a lot of data on your mobile device. Mobile device data has not kept up with that. A lot of people are still locked into, a couple of gigs a month. You're going to easily blow through a couple of gigs a month just watching some video. So I do wish that would actually increase. But I think from a business perspective, this could be, this could be a channel that you could tap into, whether it's through advertising or, getting your channel, for instance, in the whole YouTube TV rotation at some point. Obviously, you have to get really big to do that. But this also could be something if you're starting a YouTube channel and you're trying to learn different ways to create your content, watch some of the content that is out there, see what other people are doing, and see if that's something you can implement in your show that you're running or your channel.
Yeah, I think really good points, Christian. I think the other thing that we didn't talk about, and that's the OTT advertising opportunity here. OTT advertising cannot be skipped. You must watch that ad. So now we're going back to YouTube TV is taking TV back to the dark ages here, where we wanted to skip ads. That's why we want to cut the cord. We want to record it. And now, hey, thanks, YouTube TV. Now I get an over-the-top ad on my YouTube TV. I mean, that just, I got to tell you, that really is fascinating how we're doing that, and how we're going back to 1980 here with our advertising on the OTT, and we think that's somehow revolutionary because it can't be skipped. I think that's super annoying, but I totally get it. Like I've had clients, we've done some OTT ads. I totally get it. And you can geofence it. So Phil, I can totally carpet bomb your house, man. And I can make sure that you're watching my smiling mug for 30 seconds.
Yeah, for marketers, it's a great thing.
Yeah, for marketers, yeah, totally a great thing, man.
I mean, so target versus a regular commercials on a regular TV. I mean, this is how many eyes we promise you'll be on, whether they want us, like, or they're interested or not. With this, I mean, you can definitely target people that, have searched or are interested in or whatever. So, I mean, it's better that way. Yeah, I think they'll get better. I think their advertisers will see better results than they ever have before. But to your point, on the client side or the user side, it does suck. Can't skip it.
Yeah, you can't skip it. So, Christian, what were you going to say, dude?
So what I was going to say, actually, so we're talking about 30-second ads, and I have an ad that I think I saw this, and it was really creative. So you don't have a whole lot of time on YouTube, right, to watch a video. So here's what Audi did. So they were advertising the speed of their vehicle, and their ad was basically showing how you could go from 0 to 60 in the time to watch a YouTube ad. And it was pretty fantastic to watch because they were able to get this ad across. It was not obtrusive at all. It was actually fun to watch, and it fit perfectly with the model versus, somebody trying to just talking really fast, kind of going through their, motion to try to get you to watch their ad. But it was a fantastic ad. If I find that, I'll actually get that and drop it here in the, I'll drop it here in the comments. But it was a great use of YouTube ads.
Yeah, well, creativity is the key here. But, Natalia says ad blockers are her besties, and she'd like to block the ads in Facebook Messenger because that's ridiculous. But the challenge is you cannot block an OTT ad yet. Right. There are no ad blockers that do that, because if you cut the cord, now they've got you captive. And again, I think this comes down to identity management. Google has got their own ecosystem here. It's really a big deal. And, with smart TVs, it would not surprise me at all to see that, Samsung smart TVs end up having to run in a Google box because it's Android, right? I mean, that's the OS that's on there. And so that means Google's advertising instead of Samsung's advertising. These ecosystems, these identities are going to be really strong, and they're going to be really important because, Google already has the Nest. They've got Google Home. They've got some big devices here, folks. So just be ready, because that OTT, you cut the cord, that means you're going to be subservient to the master of Google.
Definitely. So for those of you watching, have you tried YouTube TV in your area? Have you tested it out? Or have you cut your cord like Phil? So let us know in the comments. But we appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
So
what I predict is they're gonna So I have DirecTV Now app. And they did an upgrade they have a DVR option now. It's a cloud-based DVR, but I predict that's what YouTube will, if you're not gonna, either A, they'll make money selling the ads, or B, they'll make money upgrading you to the DVR so you can fast forward past the ads.
Yeah, well, I don't think there's going to be a DVR anymore, Phil, because they're going to be stupid boxes, right? We're going to have dumb TVs more than storing them.
All right, so I have an Apple TV. It's not it's not like a regular cable box. It's an app. I can actually watch the DirecTV Now on my iPhone, and I can watch the DVR function through my iPhone. It's a cloud-based DVR, and you can fast forward.
Yeah, interesting. Oh, cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think YouTube will make their money one way or another. Either A, they'll make it off the advertising, or B, they'll sell you upgrades so you can fast forward through the commercials eventually.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're absolutely right, man. That's totally true. And Natalia just asked, are there ads in YouTube stories? Good question.
No ads in YouTube stories at the moment.
Right.
No ads in YouTube stories. Also talked about, can I block ads in Facebook Messenger? You can hide them. You can't turn them completely off, but you can hide them. Very simple. Just go to and you do have to do this. You have to basically go to each ad, tap on the ... option that's in Messenger, and you'll have the option. They'll say hide. Now, you can also report those to Facebook as well if you find they're irrelevant, because you have people that will try to target you for different pieces of content that they're just trying to get some eyeballs on their ads, and it could be totally unrelated to you. So keep that in mind. But to answer your question, no ads in stories at the moment. So
that's good news. So cool. So one safe spot, right? 7 seconds at a time. Yippee. Woo. So cool. So last topic here is Facebook shutting down Moments, which is kind of interesting, right? It's a photo app that they thought Google ripped them off with Google Photos, if you ask me. Looks just like Google Photos. It identifies Phil's face. Should you send this to Phil? I mean, come on now. That's interesting. And I actually say Google Photos is even better because it enhances all my pictures. It doesn't just group them together. So I don't know. I used Moments 3 or 4 times. Don't really care. Most people didn't sign up for it. So therefore, it didn't work. I don't know. Phil, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree. When the app first came out, I downloaded it, had it on my phone for maybe 2 weeks and got rid of it too. I just didn't see the purpose of it,
Yeah. Yeah. Almost no business opportunity.
Yeah, it never took off. It just never took off.
Yeah.
So,
Christian, are you a Moment?
Here's the thing. I'm not. I tried it out, but it just, it was just too much. So here's the thing. It was a standalone app. It was designed to let people, to let you privately share like your photos and your videos. And that's where I saw the business aspect to it, which was, the ability to be able to, go and share this with specific people. So for example, if I were a client, working with a business, I could easily share my content there. If I'm connected with the person, from a profile perspective, easily share things there as well. And judging obviously by the comments, people are saying, hey, I never used it as well. But, that was really the business value of it, but there's so many other ways that you can share your photos and your video content. So it doesn't start on Facebook. So for example, if you've uploaded a photo to Facebook, chances are you have that photo or that video already on your device in your camera roll. So in a way, it was creating, duplicate effort here. So I think that it was very useful because, hey, if I want to privately share it with somebody, I could go use another platform. I could use, if I'm using iOS, I could share it through through AirDrop. I could share it through Dropbox, for example. I could share it through Google Drive. Let's see, what else? You could snap it to somebody as well. You got Instagram, you've got WhatsApp, you got tons and tons of options to be able to quickly share a photo or a video privately. So I kind of understand also where a lot of people are coming from. It had limited business use. I also think that, this could be, if you're thinking about the whole main topic we talked about, which is Facebook integrating WhatsApp and Instagram and Messenger, Facebook is probably, chances are they're starting to clean up a lot of their I don't say useless, but a lot of their limited services that people didn't use. And that's where I think that this is actually going to be a good thing for people, especially for you as a business owner, because it's going to be one less thing you have to keep track of to manage. So this is actually going to end in about a month, by the way, 25 days.
Yeah, they never really marketed that way though either. It was marketed more towards on a personal level, like share your photos with your family and friends. Right. Until this show, I never thought of that app business wise any way, shape, or form.
Yeah. Well, and obviously you're right, Phil. Nobody else did either. So bye-bye Facebook Moments.
Exactly.
Right. Been nice knowing you. Go the way of Google Plus. Smell you later. So. And
by the way, for those of you who do want to export your photos, I am going to drop a link in here for you. If you happen to use Facebook Moments, you can export. You can go basically to this link and just walk through the prompts. and it will make it easy for you to export all of your photos that you've uploaded.
Good job, Christian. Yeah, that's important, right? If you did use it, for the 7 of you who did, go ahead and download that link. You see Katie Miller says she never used it, but perhaps somebody listening sometime, some way will say, yep, I did, and here's how. So, Christian, thank you for sharing that, buddy. That's really good stuff.
Anytime.
Good stuff. Good stuff. So let's go to tool time.
I think it's your favorite time. Yes, tool time.
Tool time.
So we've got some good topics to talk, some great tools this week, and Phil, Phil Reinhardt, I want to hear, in particular about one of these tools. I want to hear, how much you're using this kind of tool with clients, or if you're using something else. So I'm going to go and bring up the first tool that we have for you this week, and it is called #expert4IG. So what this essentially is a hashtag tool for you to be able to search, for you to be able to identify hashtags, for you to be able to find related hashtags that you can use as well with clients for campaigns and so on. This is an iOS device app. Sorry. So it's called #expert. Has anybody used this? I personally, I tried it out. I thought it was actually really good. It's a freemium app, so it's free to a point. If you want some of the advanced features, it's like $9.99 a month, or I think it's like 47 and change a year.
Right.
So very useful app, actually, considering one of the key things with getting your content out there is to have the right hashtags associated with your campaigns you're creating. But this can definitely help you find it. What do you guys think?
So I've used the app. I did it for the free 7 days, but I use a different tool. I couldn't see paying for the app where there are free options out there.
Okay.
So I use a tool called displaypurposes.com. It's a online based tool, so you can use it both on your phone and your desktop.
Okay.
On displaypurposes.com does pretty much the same thing that this app does.
Okay.
Offers suggestions. You put in your keyword or your hashtag, and it'll offer you a bunch of suggestions, just like this app does.
Awesome, man. That's really helpful because I struggle with what hashtags to use, so I just end up doing none. I got to tell you, I struggle with that a lot, and I don't know. I don't know. Maybe I will use it. Maybe I won't. Katie Miller says she's not used it, but she's Googled hashtags before, and she can't see herself using an app. I mean, hit me more. Like, how would you Google for that? I'll just tell you, I'm kind of ignorant that way. So that's really interesting. Phil, how would you Google for a hashtag? Why would you do that?
Why would I Google a hashtag?
Yeah, like what are you doing there?
Well, all right, for display purposes, so if you bring up that website, like I said, you can type in whatever hashtag or keyword you're looking for. Let's just use marketing, for example. And then it offers like the top keywords related to that topic. Mm-hmm. It gives you a bunch of other suggestions that you may or may not have thought of, like Facebook marketing, Instagram marketing. I mean, all these other hashtags that you would have never imagined. And then also it ranks them like according to popularity, ones being most used, so on and so forth. So to your point, Phil, where you said, hey, you're struggling to try to find the right hashtags to get it out in front of more eyes, that displaypurposes.com does exactly that. You put in marketing and it'll give you the 10 of the top keywords or hashtags to get it in front of more eyes. So that's why I use it.
Interesting. Cool. Christian, are you searching for hashtags like this?
I don't use the app, the tool that Phil mentioned, but I will say I think that it's very important when you're doing a campaign to not just uncover so the way this one works, for example, is you can go in, you can put in your generic hashtag, for instance, your general topic that you're thinking about talking that you want to include. It will give you some suggested ones based off of that. It can actually further drill down into why they're selecting them as well. That's what you do get with the paid, the pro version that they offer. I would say, here's the thing. There's different tools. I'd recommend trying both of them for desktop and mobile. See which one works the best for you. If you're, for instance, primarily on your mobile device, most mobile interfaces don't work very well with the, if people don't build them properly. So they do make them hard to use. Again, it's about getting the information fast. The other thing also, you can quickly go through here. You can also, like Phil said, you can test this out. They do give you 7 days, but it does make it easy for you to quickly find hashtags that you should be using in your campaigns and why you should be using them. I think that the key thing here is, it helps broaden your exposure to different hashtags. So if you have always been using a generic hashtag, for example, there are a lot of other hashtags.
Pick of the day.
Do what? What was that?
Pick of the day.
Yeah.
Generic hashtag.
Right. Well, and here's the thing. A lot of people, they think, hey, I'm going to put it in this big, broad, generic topic. And, it's all of a sudden going to get a lot of, eyeballs on it. And it might get some eyeballs, but it's not going to necessarily get you the right users, because guess what? Everyone else is using those as well. So you have to, in a way, be very specific with the hashtags you are choosing. So to answer your question, Phil, Phil Gerberchak, to answer your question, I mean, I think it's, if you're new to hashtags, this is a good tool. These are both good tools to use to help you find kind of how to navigate the hashtag game. And then also, if you're, an experienced user, you already know, well, hey, I can, kind of weed through some of the high level stuff to get to the right hashtags.
Cool.
So,
cool. And it is just iOS right now. Barb Tomlin asked, just for iOS right now? Yes. So definitely, keep your eyes on that. The interesting thing is, if you actually go to appadvice.com and you search for that, you'll find that they have some other ones that they would recommend as well. So that might be a helpful thing for you. But right now, yes, indeed, it is iOS only. So cool.
I mean, and that's kind of expected. Most people, the way they roll out apps, they roll out iOS first, just because it has a much bigger.
Find out in iOS.
Do what?
So if they're going to live or die, it's going to find out in iOS.
Exactly. So I think, it's the exposure, and I think it also might give them access to some other things. Apple has a lot of really good tools for developers to make it easy for them to build apps and get them launched in the App Store. So, so the second tool we have this week is a tool for essentially building landing pages, running contests on social media. It's called Shortstack, and it's been through quite a number of iterations when it first launched a number of years ago, actually. And it's a great tool for, it can tie into your website. You can tie it into, if you build Facebook landing pages still for a page tab, it'll also work for that as well. But great way for you to run any sort of contest pretty much that you want to run, whether it's Facebook, whether it's Instagram. You could run contests for if you use a tool like a raffle copter for having people, follow your accounts and things like that. You could tie that in as well. You could tie in videos. Pretty much, it's basically letting you create landing pages very easily. What do you guys think about this tool? Have you guys checked it out?
Oh yeah, I used this one for a long time. I mean, Phil, didn't you and I play with this a long time ago?
Yeah, when it first came out, I did this was years ago, probably 2-3 years ago now. I did a Facebook contest on it. Tried it out. I agree with you, Chris. I think for contests, it's great. It's real simple. Integrates really well. But I haven't used it outside of contests, to be very honest with you. Everything else it offers, I like doing it on a platform that I own, or like my server versus putting on somebody else's server.
Right.
I try to avoid those kind of fees if I can.
Okay.
But yeah, the contests and that kind of stuff, I think they do an excellent job.
Yeah. And here's the thing. If you have a lot of volume for contests, one of the challenges, a lot of people will run a contest. They will do the manual way, which is, hey, everybody will enter. They'll send me an email or something, and then I will go through those, or I'll go through comments or, that sort of thing on a post. That is very time consuming. So the key thing here is just efficiency. It definitely helps manage that. You can also tie it in your email list as well. So, if you've got an email marketing service you're using, chances are everybody has one of those. Some of them have pre-built forms that you can, put on your website. Well, you could put that in your landing page as well, so people can, go right through that process.
Yeah.
But
Good.
very good tool. I will say it is a little pricey if you're just using it for some of the basic stuff. You could try it for free, but then the starter plans are $29 a month, $100 a month, and up to $199 and $499, depending on the branding. If you want to remove branding, if you want to have the ability
to agency level.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, that's the goal, right? I mean, it basically gives an agency the ability to build contests out without getting access to the website of a corporation. Right. I mean, that's the big benefit here. You don't have to build an iframe. You don't have to get access to the root of a secure site to make that happen. You can still set up a domain redirect and make this happen. I mean, for a bigger business, it's great. For a smaller business, it's probably a little overkill. I mean, you could just as simply, do something else. So just be aware though that this exists. I mean, for $29 a month, if you're really not handy at coding, this could be really fantastic for you. Right. Because the templates are really nice. It's really easy to use. I mean, like I mentioned, I probably used Shortstack 2 or 3 years ago, back when Facebook was, when integrating into a Facebook page was important. I mean, now they bury those pages. You can't find them if you want to. But
the first claim to fame was their contest stuff.
That's right.
They would even automatically pick the winner, notify them. I mean, everything. It did everything for you. It was very hands off. So it was a nice tool back then.
Yep. Absolutely. So still could be.
And his landing pages, the good thing is they've evolved. I think they did a nice job at evolving.
Yeah.
Right.
Over time.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So good potential, folks. And we've got tons more tools, tons more tips that we could share with you. But tonight, we're not going to share all those tools. Instead, we want you to sign up and get Social Chef's daily newsletter. You go to socialchefs.com/daily. You'll get the recap of this video with Phil Reinhardt. You'll know how to connect to him, though, of course, we'll mention that in just a minute, as well as you'll get news and good stuff so that throughout the week, you can stay on top of things. That's socialchefs.com/daily. for some awesome email stuff from us. So Phil, this is fun, man. How do we find you? How do people get a hold of you?
Well, you can find me on Twitter, or Facebook at Phil Reinhardt, Instagram, everything at Phil Reinhardt. My website, philreinhardt.com, PhilReinhardt.com.
Awesome. So we're just grateful that you're here, Phil. Any last thoughts on anything that we talked about tonight, or any of the tools that we discussed?
Boy.
Or even suggestions for a business. If there's one thing that a business, you first meet with a business, if there's one thing that you could tell them or a piece of advice, what would it be?
That would vary from business to business. When I meet with a client, I always do a deep dive. I want to know who their competitors are. Look at their social, look at their website, look at their competitors, and see what they're doing, and then try to do it better. Tools of what we discussed. I think the LinkedIn thing, again, if you're a B2B, I think that new LinkedIn targeting will help better than their four levels that you have now, like industry skills, your business titles, and then company names. I mean, I think that is exciting as far as it progressing, it growing. I think you'll see more and more variants on their targeting.
Cool.
So that would be my recommendation. Check out LinkedIn ads if you're a B2B.
Awesome.
Good advice.
Cool stuff, man. So Christian, do we know who's coming on with us next week? What do we know?
I know we're actually still working on that. We had guests lined up and they had to cancel, so we're working on the guests for next week. But I know I can tell you one thing, we're gonna have somebody awesome on. So
yeah, the week after that, they're going to be terrible. So just tune in.
Right.
We might not have another show, folks. If you miss out next week, you're nothing else is going to happen. The world is going to end. No, just kidding. But yeah, so of course we're going to have somebody awesome on. We don't have any crappy guests, do we, Christian? I mean,
no, we try to vet every guest we have.
We'll make them feel bad. No. If we name them by name, right, and we point to them, right, that guy, right now, just don't do that. That's kind of rude. So no, but that's cool. So yeah, so stay tuned, folks. Make sure you sign up, socialchefs.com/daily, or turn on your notifications for the Social Chefs page. We're not sharing a lot of junk, folks. There's no noise, just great content for you to grow your business with social media each and every day. So Christian, Phil, guys, this was fun. Thanks, guys.
Definitely.
Thank you.
So, thank you, everyone, for tuning in this week. We will see you next week, and a blog post recap will be going out tomorrow to everyone. So we'll see you guys later. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
Bye.